Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My content's taking a turn. We are talking more about self-protection. We're talking more about more tangible things. Many of you guys who have subscribed to the channel have been watching the channel because of us talking about spiritual aspects. And guys, I want you to understand that spiritual aspects is something that we're still very, very dedicated to. Even my wife is actually taking the responsibility of moving her stuff over to L's Emporium. The link is down below if you haven't jumped over there yet. She's going to be dealing a lot more with spiritual contracts. So for you guys who've been looking for spiritual contracts, she's probably going to be dropping those soon. So make sure to jump over to her channel. But for you guys who want to know about self-protection, I'm going to go over a garage robbery here. And, this is going to be one of the primary reasons why I'm talking about martial arts, where I'm talking about being a personal protector, because sometimes the police are just too far away and they can't get to you in a reasonable amount of time. We're going to be evaluating what could have happened if the person was armed with some kind of force multiplier. What we call a force multiplier is anything that allows you to put more force down upon someone. Unfortunately, when you're robbed by someone, they're usually using some type of force multiplier on you because they want to overpower your force and take something from you. In some cases, they're trying to take your money. In other cases, they may be trying to take your life. So we're going to watch this and we're going to try to understand a little bit more about why I'm trying to get you guys to understand the importance of force multipliers and talking about proper training and the responsibility that you have to get home safely. This guy is actually in his garage, right? Places where you would think you would be safe to be without needing a force multiplier.
A Houston man just taking out the trash is held up at gunpoint.
Yeah, tonight police are sharing the surveillance video hoping to catch the two folks behind it. Our Grace White spoke to the victim and is just south of West U with the story tonight. Grace?
The shocking thing for this victim, this happened in the middle of the day, right before kids down the street would have been getting out from school. The victim says he was just getting off work and thinks he was followed.
As I got out of the car, I went maybe about 4 or 5 feet, went to throw something away.
This man asked us not to show his face, but his home surveillance cameras tell the story.
Came up on me with a.
I'm going to stop this right here, guys. So you have to understand this guy actually had a Ring doorbell. I know many of you, that's the first thing you think, oh, this could never happen in my neighborhood. I've got a Ring doorbell. I'll be able to contact the police. Look what this guy has on his face. His identity is obscured. And look how fast it happened. He turned his back for 1 second and this guy ran up here. Understand that it's highly likely that this person's home has been what's called cased, where they've been riding by and looking for marks, as they would call someone who is a potential prey for this predator here. They're going to ride by your house. They're going to see if you have money. They're going to look at the vehicles that you have in your house. They're going to look and see when the vehicles come and go. Understand that when you're on vacation, it's important to have those lights flipping on and off. In my neighborhood, there's someone who stays away from his house on a quite extensive amount of time. You know what he has? He has a light that comes on and off on a timer, giving the appearance to someone's home. So know that it's not just good guys riding up and down your street. Unfortunately, if your street is public, all kinds of riffraff can ride up and down your street.
With a loaded 9mm gun with an extended clip, probably at least 40 bullets or so.
He was taking out the trash when he was robbed in his driveway.
Shouted, give me your keys, you know. Kept my hands up, tried to stay as calm as possible.
It happened Wednesday, January 25th on Bradford Street, just south of West U. But
I'm going to run this back because looking at their clothing, these people look like they're probably children. And this has been a reoccurring theme, even in the Washington, D.C. and Maryland area, where these kids get in their mind that, oh, I'm not going to work hard. I'm not going to go out there and sweat and get paid and have the government take taxes from me and make money. I'm going to do it the Grand Theft Auto way. Look at this guy's shoes. Look at the clothing that he's wearing. And look at his accomplishments.
Kept my hands up, tried to stay as calm as possible.
It happened Wednesday, January 25th on Bradford Street, just south of West U. But it started down the street, where he thinks he was followed home from a gas station.
Could have been looking for somebody, or they could have just said, oh, cool, we want that car.
But the one thing that slowed the robbers down,
said, my keys are in the bag. I don't have the keys. The keys aren't on me.
The keys were inside his car, in a bag. On the video, you can see one of the robbers reach inside to grab it and take off.
This all happened within 2 minutes.
Then the other robber hops in and tries to start the car, not realizing his partner already took the keys. While that's happening,
Oh, wow. Yeah, he was fast.
the victim goes after the first guy who ran away with his bag until
Now you hear the gunshot.
one of the suspects fired.
The kid got out of my car who had the gun, and he took a shot at me and his friend.
Thankfully, he missed. The other guy dropped the bag, and that's when the blue getaway car comes into frame, picks up the guys, and speeds away.
And I think it should be out there because people do need to see what's going on.
And while scary, this husband and father says he's glad his cameras were rolling.
Definitely changes your perspective. You know, I have a daughter.
Understand, guys, that there is a perimeter outside your house, right? One of my favorite YouTube channels talks about transitional spaces. That's from his training. Anything that allows you to get in and out of a building is called a transitional space. Transitional spaces are one of the most vulnerable times because transitional spaces are usually when people are kind of preoccupied, like kind of how this guy is, where when you're going into your home, what are you doing? You're fumbling around, you're looking with keys and things, right? If you're really, really, not thinking about protecting yourself, sometimes you've got your phone out and you're like looking at your phone, texting someone to come in or come out, or asking someone about meals as you enter the house. Transitional spaces are one of the times when you really need to have your eyes and ears ready to go. You need to be looking in all directions and trying to really understand what's happening around you, because transitional spaces leave you at a disadvantage. If you remember how this guy walked up on him, he kind of came up from this direction. And he made it even worse because he turned his back at a transitional space. You might say that's his right. Of course, that's his right. But is it smart, right? When you enter any kind of transitional space, one of the first things you want to do is you want to scan out 5 meters, right? You want to see where are people standing? What are they doing? Is anything unusual? If that 5 meters is clear, take a couple more steps, scan out 20 meters. Is anyone standing across the street looking at you? Are there people trying to get away from someone? Like I would be willing to bet that if this guy had just taken a 5 or 25 meter scan, he might have spotted this guy and maybe even a young person who was just literally meters away watching his house. They probably were sitting in a car for some time. They may even have his schedule down packed. These cameras that he has, I've noticed right now, one of the mistakes I see in his camera footage here is that his cameras are watching just his street. Now, I know in some areas people feel a way about privacy. No. Understand that you don't have any expectation of privacy once you leave your home. So once he steps out here, there's no privacy. I don't care what your local laws say, federal law, you don't have any expectation of privacy. Tip that camera up. You need a camera facing your street so that way you can watch the cars that are coming and going. You see this guy, I think he even had a different camera, if I'm not mistaken, that catched him sprinting across the street. That may have been his camera. It may have been a county camera. But having that camera and checking it tells you who's casing your place. Is there a car that's been coming and going for the last week sitting on your street? This may sound paranoid, guys, but he would have been able to pick this information up. Luckily, no one was hurt here. But I show you this video to emphasize why it's important to pay attention to what's going on. If this child that wanted to kill him, he would have been gone. His daughter would have been without her father that night. Luckily enough, these people weren't too seasoned and didn't know how to use their weapons. But I'm gonna end this video here and just let this be a shocker to some of you guys who are subscribed to the channel, who's been watching some of our spiritual content. The spirits may give you, a ring in your ear. If you're clairvoyant, they may tell you to not do that particular action today, right? Maybe don't check the trash can today. Maybe don't mess with the trash can today. If you're someone who does tarot cards and believes in that kind of thing, maybe it would say today's not a good day. Someone's gonna try to rob you. The cards, if you're into that kind of stuff, can be very accurate if you have the gift of actually knowing how to run tarot cards. But if he had just used the tangible tools of scanning 5 meters, scanning 25 meters out, he may have been able to get back into his transitional spaces. Also, garages are very, very hard to secure because they open and close so slowly. So just keep that in mind too. And many times these criminals know that. They know that it's hard for you to get back into a house. I would bet that even though they're new at this, they probably have already understood how the garage works. They know that you can't get in and out of it very, very closely. Now, if this guy had been carrying a weapon on him, he would have been well within his right to stop both of these individuals by means of deadly force, because they put that deadly force on him. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something from this video. Please be safe out there. Consider training with some kind of force multiplier, be it a handgun, be it some kind of bladed weapon, something, because clearly the criminals are coming with force multipliers. And if you're out there caught in the wind without any way to multiply your force, they're going to take what they want to take, and they don't care who they hurt or how badly it affects your family. Be safe. I'll see you in the next video.